We come before you today to give you and praise. You are the source of all that is good and the source of all of our blessings. Thank you for helping us to accomplish our work and our goals this day. Amen.
I'm going to go ahead and establish quorum, Pilar.
Chairman, you have 6 members present. You have quorum.
Okay. So we have quorum. Public comment.
We have no public comment, Chairman.
Let's go start with reports.
Yes, sir. First item on the agenda is 1A is a report on program manager activity for the 365 tollway project and the IBTC environmental clearance document. Ramon Navarro will give a brief report.
Good evening, directors. See if this thing is working. Can you control it over there, sir? Next slide. All right. For the benefit of our new directors, we'd like to provide an overview of the proposed loops. This is what the RMA has been assigned or tasked to achieve. This is the overall loop for Hidalgo County. This is the internal loop. We still got a section that's further to the east. Mr. Reyna's best favorite section, the one that goes through F and the outskirts of the east side of the county. And this is the overall section. We're currently working on the yellow sections 1 and 2. Section 3 has been constructed. That is the San Juan BSIF connector project. And we're currently working on the 12.2 miles section of the toll 365 section. We do have environmental clearance up to the point of the yellow segment 4, and section A West and section C are not environmentally cleared and are on schedule to be released for environmental studies within this year. Additional roadways displayed up there are the SH68 and the I-69 corridor connector project. Those are TxDOT projects, initially RMA projects, but taken away and now being managed by TxDOT. And you'll also see the IBT sections, which are 1 and 2 and 3, which is another portion of the, of the South Loop that the RMA has. This will be a non-toll section of freeway, and we'll discuss that a little further in detail. Next slide, please. As for the 365 toll project, this is the limits are from the approximately 0.8 miles west of the Bryan Road connector, right around the Anzalduas port of entry, to the Pharr Bridge or the Pharr port of entry, 12.2 miles. And it was, next slide. This thing is not working. Maybe it is. There you go. Okay. Notice to proceed was issued to Pullis Construction on February 15th. Time started clicking on March 17th. They were issued the contract with 1,264 calendar days, which means we work Sunday through Saturday, including all holidays, with the exception of 4, which are the ones displayed: New Year's, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, and the day after, and Christmas Eve and the day after. Thereafter, there are no weather days that are issued or accounted for. It's full construction, rain, snow, sleet, hail, shine. It's a construction time. All right. We work on 12.2 miles, and hopefully it doesn't rain on all 12.2 miles at the same time consistently. But that is the plan of action. The initial cost came in at $295,932,420.25, and we issued within the contract there, the specifications are what called value engineering change proposals. This gives the contractor an opportunity to present ideas on cost savings and cost efficiencies for the project. Utilizing this standard, we were able to save approximately $38 million worth of construction ingenuity, I guess you could say. 38,010,382 to be exact. This was therefore parted in various means. How can I say this? We broke it up to made a production payment, which was kind of an incentive at the 20, 40, 60, and 80% completion. We'll provide them with approximately, I believe it's, we'll break it up next here. Need to get this clicker going here. Next slide, please. There we go. Okay, so we've issued 4 change orders to date. Three were invoking the value engineering change proposals, and the 4th is the drill shaft accommodation. The drill shaft needed to be upgraded from a 42-inch to a 48-inch, and that was a $171,000 change order. So going back to the value engineering payouts, the production payments for the incentives are approximately $4.2 million or $4.3 million upon completion points or milestones of the 20%, 40%, 60%, and 8% completion of the project. We will hold on to the final acceptance or the final payment as final retainage and issue that upon final acceptance. So that tallies out to the $21.3 million difference in the cost. And we do have a $14 million savings to the overall project's saving, and that is sort of our collateral, or that is our kitty for any future change orders. That is a summary of 365. Along with 365, we also have a toll integrator project. This is to make the tolls or the collection system invoked and seamless without booths and tolls without the human product, and be able to electronically collect tolls on the project. This bid was opened on December 9th. We had 5 bidders approach with proposals, and the overall we had five proposals submitted. The committee or review committee has conducted analysis, and we've also conducted short online interviews with all, and come up with a short list. They are clarifying the terms of the short list and making sure everything, all the I's and T's are crossed, and they will be coming before the board next month with a short list and a authorization to proceed with negotiations, or if the board cares to interview on each one on a one-on-one basis and have them before you. So with that being said, that moves on to the Valley Land Fund. I apologize. There you go. We have what's called the wetland mitigation site. This site is to provide for our environmental justices on the project. It is going to be a native planting site that we are going to pay to get a water well in and plant native plants along the northwest portion of this. This is part of our core requirements, and we have gotten an extension on the permit with an anticipating letting of next month on that. Talking about 365, that wraps it up. We move on to IBTC. The IBTC project is the east portion of the South Loop. This is a non-toll portion, 13.15 miles long. We have 3 legs or 3 segments, one from the west, one on the east side going to the Donna Bridge. And then we have the connector that goes to I-2, which is segment 2. We're looking at releasing all of 3 of these segments at once and compiling it into one project. As far as the status of this project, environmental is approximately 99% complete. We're pending the federalization of the project to be able to acquire functional classification and get a designation from TxDOT on this project. to be able to incorporate the $20 million contribution and grant that we got from TxDOT on this project. Upon federalization, it'll be functionally classified as a principal arterial, and then we'll be able to classify this and move on with the engineering and the advanced engineering, right-of-way purchasing, and formally final acceptance of the NEPA process, or the environmental document. That is the initial status of IBTC. We are going through a process at the MPO, local government. Category 7 funding is being categorized. We currently stand in the top 5 with this project. We were number 1, and priorities have changed. The number 1 ranking was about 3 years ago, and looks like the scoring and the prioritization has changed. There are 2 Cameron County projects that are before ours that are, I guess, in better conditions and in better funding and have better scoring. We will be deliberating these projects on the next meeting, which is the first tomorrow afternoon, and bringing back any recourse that we need to follow up with on that.
How much is that funding? I'm sorry.
It's overall, we have on our funding, we have approximately $38 million. 17 of that is through the VRF fund that TxDOT owed us, and then the $20 million grant that we did receive. So we've got about, I believe it's 18% of the match in place right now. With the letting in proposed to be in 2026, in the latter part of 2026, we still have some time to go out and acquire some funding.
Is the non-toll part is going to be funded and built by TxDOT?
We are trying to get it on system, sir. It is currently an off-system project, and we have written and requested that TxDOT take this project on system. It's still not officially taken on board by TxDOT. It's not an on-system project. However, due to the fact that they have already federally funded it with the grant money, we are pretty optimistic that it's going to go on system. Meaning, once it's on system, the funding and direct pay will come from TxDOT, not our funding, sir.
The maintenance and operation will be by TxDOT, right?
Inclusive of maintenance and operations, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I thought we were gonna get approval this by April.
We're working on the federal category, getting it functionally classified in the federalization or federalizing the project. That still has not come down the FHWA channel yet. Upon receiving that, we'll get the declaration, I guess, of federalization, and the STIP and the TIP organized in the categorical funding organized, and that's what we're voting on in the upcoming meetings, sir, to be able to functionally classify and get these categories funded, and which projects will be within the next 3-year TIP.
And what is the status of the MPO, and how does that impact us?
Category 7 funding, sir, are local projects, all local government projects. And what has been devised is they've come up with a scoring mechanism or a score sheet for each of the projects as far as status of the 5 categories that you saw a little while ago up on engineering, funding, environmental. Each one is given a division score, and that scoring ranks and prioritizes the project. It doesn't select them, but it prioritizes them, and they come before the board for a ranking and a selection process. So what we're doing with the scoring is it's actually depicting which projects are actually ready and constructible or construction ready to go to construction. The issue that's going on is there's a lot of funding that has been reserved and unexpended because of the fact that the project never gets pushed out, and it's money sitting in the coffers that has never been used. There's monies there from 1996 or 1998 that had never been funded or never been expended.
You're talking about the MPO cost.
The local government projects, yes, sir. Yes, sir. In their funding category, in TxDOT's funding categories, MPO manages it, and TxDOT funds it. The federal highways or TxDOT has categorical expenditures for each classification of a roadway. the categories. It's a long depicted class. We could give you the cliff notes on it and show you all the categorical spending. But the category 7 is the main one where all the local governments expend funds from there and draw down monies from there, sir. This is the issue that we were talking about a couple of months back when we weren't going to make the list, and we got on the list, and now
Is that, I know, is that what we're trying to do, get on the list?
we're on the list. Now we're
But at
seeing
that
where
time,
we
is that what
rank
we're
on
trying
the
to do?
list.
We were trying to get on the list at that time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're on the list.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we are within the top 5.
Ourselves to move up, right? I mean,
Yes, sir.
but we just need to get the approval from the feds, right?
The
So that's-
federalization, and then it'll be up to us to get the funding. Yes, sir.
So I think we can push that, but we got to push the other two.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. In your packet, you'll have depictions of the typical sections of the roadway, and each leg with the frontage roads. The main lane or the I-2 connector will be the ones with the center lanes, and ultimate build out. It'll be a interstate type facility, which you'll see here on the which you see up there on the ultimate phase.
How many lanes?
There will be 4 lanes in each. Ultimately, there will be 6 lanes in each direction, but the existing initial section will have 4 main lanes going north-south, and on the leg 1 and leg 2 running east and west, those will be 2 frontage road type facilities, 2 lanes divided. What you have, you should have a depiction here. There you go. Section 1 and 3 will look like that, and section 2, which is going north and south, 2 I-2 connector will have 4 lanes built into the middle section. Part of our duties with TxDOT is also to manage the overweight, oversized corridor. We have approximately, I don't recall how many miles, we have 50 miles accumulated within the network. This is where a $200 permit is purchased by truckers at the border to get to or not at the border. It's an overweight permit that's supposed to be purchased to be able to load a maximum of 125,000 pounds onto each truck with a 1-point destination origin. And that permit serves you from point A to point B. And 85% of that permit fee goes to TxDOT. Okay. And approximately 27% comes to us, and 3% goes to our manager, or the online manager, who is ProMiles. And overall this year, for the month of January, we issued 3,399 permits, and we collected approximately $693,588. The $3 convenience fee is when they use a credit card, and that goes to the credit card of their choice. It's part of the managing process. ProMiles collected $10,197. TxDOT got $577,830, and RMA got $91,773. In order of prioritization, in comparison to last year at this time, we had a 22.3% increase, or 757 more permits issued at this time last year. And you'll see the dot up on top. There is no graph because it's the first month, but we started off good and healthy. Any questions on the development side of the projects?
Just on the overweight, who maintains this road?
TxDOT does, sir. That's why they get the share of the funding.
85% of the fees we collect, which is approximately $6 million a year, go back to TxDOT for maintenance of those 50 miles. And we keep 15% of the fee, which is approximately $1 million a year.
What criteria is used by TxDOT to determine when our roads need to be repaired?
So what they do before they even make it and put it on the overweight network, they'll go through and they'll analyze the roadway structurally to see what maximum weight that it can carry, and then how long of a life it has in its existing condition. And then based on that, they will allow it to be on the overweight. I'll give you an example. Military Highway between Cage Boulevard and Pharr and 10th Street or 10th Street in McAllen. They rebuilt it all concrete. That was overweight permits. Needs to pay for that to upgrade.
I think our only concern would be make sure that they do keep up.
They're doing. So the permit system's been online since 2014, and we've collected approximately 30.
We've collected, meaning TxDOT and RMA.
They've gotten the lion's share of it. Now, when 365 tollway goes online. When 365 tollway goes online, then that becomes the overweight network, and we'll be collecting the lion's share on 365 tollway.
A quick question on overweight, if you know, because I noticed that the Mexican trucks, they haul in two trailers with one
Yes.
truck, right? Which is a double, I don't know what you call them.
Double trailer, yeah.
Double trailer, I guess. Now they get here and they split them or can the double trailer?
So the double trailer can travel on the overweight network.
It
If it's got a permit, yes, sir. It can go all the way to its destination within the overweight network. And then typically they break them back into legal loads, which is maximum of 80,000 pounds gross
And then
vehicle weight.
after that,
And then after that, it can go to the interior of the United States. So
but we're not responsible for any part of our monies to go back to maintenance on
No.
those roadways.
85% of the fee goes back to maintenance.
And what is the scope for the 15% that we're supposed to be doing?
So the 15% is to cover our administrative fees for administering the permit system. So we actually operate the permit system. We have a third-party vendor, ProMiles, and it's completely online. We have an online-based permit system. So you don't come in to see anybody. You apply for your permits online, print them, give them to the trucks, and move on down the road, which makes it very convenient.
Thank you.
Any additional questions or concerns? Thank you. Moving on to 365 toll construction, our report B. There we go. 365 Tollway. Again, this is a 12.2 mile project issued to Pullis Construction. We are currently, we went over all of this. It's 1,264 calendar working days with minimal holidays and $16,500 for liquidated damages. This is when they go beyond, or if they go beyond the assigned 1264, 1,264 days. We've issued 4 change orders to date and maintain a approximately $37 million healthy budget, but that's been divided and subdivided into the productive incentives or the pay incentives. So we need to consider that. There we go. Project production. We continue to try and capture the finalization of the value engineering change proposals. We had a meeting last month. We've got one scheduled for the 8th of this month, and hopefully we can formally finalize this, capture the true number of the cost savings, and move on and issue the issued for construction set of plans. They have changed over 68% of the plans, so we will have to be reprinting and organizing all of this again. We are currently working on the underground, environmental justices, embankment, drill shafts, columns, vent caps. This has not changed. Up on the list, you'll see the project summary, and you'll see all of the subcontractors that are on the project currently. Project financials are on the bottom. It was initially awarded, as I mentioned, at $932,420. We have work ordered or change ordered that down to $258 million. To date, we have paid $59 million. Or I need to see this. Getting old, Mr. $59,179,809.93 with 4 change orders at negative 37.8 million. The original production completion is 17.2% completed. There is a, excuse me, there we go. There is a two depictions. One is the original amount awarded, which is at 20%. And then we have the amount that we've change ordered down there at 23%. So the middle section is what we're looking at. 23% production with approximately 344 days or 27% of the time consumed. This is all being based off of the original baseline schedule. This was done prior to the value engineering change proposal. So we are confident that their difference in the construction and the time will be made up when they revise the new schedule, when we get in the value engineering change proposals and we adjust and amend the baseline schedule accordingly. There doesn't appear to be any runaway issues at the moment, and nothing has been brought forth. There's a summary of all the payouts. This month we produced approximately 1.5 million, and you'll see a summary of the payouts up on the screen. We continue, as mentioned, to conduct embankment work on the levees. We have started on the levee there west of 23rd Street. We are working in close coordination with IBWC and getting the collaboration and the production reports into them for efficient transition of the section when we do complete it. We continue with the columns and just clicker, the vent caps. And additional, the underground or the irrigation structures have been somewhat cumbersome. Finding appropriate valves, etc., are been the shipment or delivery of these appurtenances has inconvenienced us slightly. We are working directly with Hidalgo County Irrigation District 19 and their farmers to be able to irrigate their crops. We have concluded the Molcajete section, or what they call the Molcajete, and we will be able to give water on the date tomorrow is 3/1, which was the date proposed to open up the water for Mr. Reeves, or the farmer. There we go. I don't know what. Anyway, this concludes my report. Any questions or concerns I can entertain at this time? There it is. That's what they call the Molcajete section. Questions, concerns?
Thank you. Thank you.
Chairman, the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the governing body and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. However, if discussion is desired, that item or items will be removed from the consent agenda, will be considered separately.
Any questions in reference to consent agenda? I'll make a motion, entertain a motion for approval. A motion by Zeke. Second by Forrest. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 3A.
Yes, sir.
Resolution 2023-08, approval of contract amendment number 7 to the professional service agreement with HDR for revised hourly rates to provide general engineering consulting services and programs management for the 365 tollway and IBTC projects.
Yes, sir. Chairman, directors, back in March of 2019, the board of directors awarded a professional service agreement to HDR Engineering to provide general engineering consultant and program management services for the 365 tollway and IBTC. That contract was actually negotiated in late 2018 and it was awarded in early 2019. HDR has come back and asked for consideration of some rate adjustments. If you look in your packet, there is two sheets on there, and they're kind of highlighted yellow. There's 109 different rate categories that's in their contract. They've asked us to consider adjusting or amending 20 of them only. Out of the 109, they want to leave basically 91 of them alone. And they asked that we adjust 120. The ones that are asking to be adjusted, if you look in the third column from left to right, they're the ones that are kind of highlighted in green. So those are the 20 items. And then if you look at the fourth column, those are where the RMA counter proposed to them, because I thought we thought it was a little high or a little excessive, and so we bumped them back. So in essence, we're only amending 20 of the items for this contract out of the 109 categories for different disciplines. If you look at the list, there's engineers, there's administrative staff, there's environmental specialists, there's technical experts, there's program managers, deputy program, et cetera. So this is all the disciplines that encompassed in their scope of work. I went back to analyze, Vice Chairman Reynolds asked me to kind of analyze what kind of impact this would have, these adjusting these rates. And so I went back and I looked at the invoicing for the last 12 months, and our burn rate was approximately 94,000 a month. Some months it was 30, 40,000, some months it was 150, 60,000, but the average burn rate was about $94,000 a month. So I went back and I picked out the common disciplines, and I did a little extrapolation, and I estimate that with these 20 disciplines that we're adjusting, it'll probably increase the expenditures about $2,000 a month, or about $24,000 a year, if we continue on the current trend for the project. So that's the approximate fiscal impact. Staff thinks that these are reasonable adjustments for the industry, and so we're recommending approval.
The only question I have is they won't honor their agreement or bid, the original bid?
They're basically honoring the vast majority of it, Chairman, except for these 20 items, these 20 disciplines where they're saying these we need to adjust after 5 years. The industry standard is too low for that. Everything else they're maintaining as per the original negotiated rate. So
There's something that can prevent us for this to happen for the other item?
Well, the issue here is that it's been 5 years since we negotiated these rates, and the cost of doing business, we all know, has gotten a little more expensive.
Where we are with HDR contract wise, how it works briefly.
So the way it works is that we have a contract with HDR, and it's on a work authorization basis. So HDR, we give them a scope of work that we need done. They provide a level of effort. Staff reviews it. We look at, say, that's you don't need this discipline, or that's too many hours, and we whittle it down, and then we bring it to the board. The board approves it, and so yeah, it's by task. So they don't have a blanket contract, to just bill us. So the board has to award every work authorization. So it's per task.
When you say burn rate,
That approximately what our expenditures are per month. Yeah. Yes, that's correct. Yes. And so I went back and looked at the tasks that we've already assigned to see what fiscal impact it would have on that. And it's a little bit less than $2,000 a month, but I added it up just to be a little conservative. And I think, yes, correct.
and what's the term? We have them under contract?
Yes, we do. We have them under.
Until when? Until when?
Oh, until when? We have them under contract until,
And I suspect
I believe it's 2026.
there's a 30-day.
Yes, 30-day out. Yes, sir. Yeah, actually,
And
we're
the
right now,
term-
we're under contract till 2024, till
And-
next year.
24?
Yeah, June of 2024.
Okay.
And then the board will have to consider whether to extend their contract or reprocure.
This would basically be would have been like a 6-year
contract?
Five-year
Five-year?
contract. Yes, sir. 5-year contract, a little bit over 5 years.
We've renewed within the last 5 years. It's been that long, 4 years ago.
Yes, yeah, so we initially gave them a 3-year contract with 2 1-year extensions, and so we've exercised a 2 1-year. So this also extends our contract out to the 5th year. And best management practices is that you reprocure every 3 to 5 years. So we'll be getting to that point where
We're not extending the contract, we're just adjusting
the rates, yeah, but they're under contract till June of 2024
with a 30-day,
with a 30-day out,
and these rates haven't been adjusted since 2000.
correct.
Is there currently an existing work authorization that they're still working on?
Yes, we have, it's in your packet. It shows, if you go to page number, if you go to page number 3 in your packet for this item, we have 7 work authorizations that they have been assigned, and some with supplementals. And so they're on various, some of them have already been completed, some of them are still in progress.
And there's no clawback, this is go forward only.
This is go forward only, yes, sir.
So it doesn't go back to the existing work authorization?
No, it would be for any new, only new work authorizations. But I did the analysis just to kind of give you a, what the fiscal impact would look like going forward. So
Who is HDR and where are they from? Who is HDR?
So HDR is a national firm.
Oh, I see.
They're a national firm with a local office, and I think their local office is Corpus. They're Corpus, and so they service us out of Corpus Christi, but they're a national firm, and they replaced our former GEC, which was Dannenbaum Engineering. Yes, sir. So Ramon says they have a local office.
Where are they based?
I'm not sure where corporate is based, but their closest regional office is in Corpus. And they do have a local office here in the Valley.
There are no other questions. I'd entertain a motion for approval for the contract amendment number 7 for professional services.
I so move.
A motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion carries. Thank you. Resolution 2023-11, approval of a fee schedule for access, utility, and development reviewed by the Hidalgo County Regional Mobility Authority.
Chairman, directors, we ask that you take no action on this. We need to do a little more study on the fee rates, and we'll bring it back to you at maybe the March board meeting for consideration.
On table.
Yeah, but we don't, just no action.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Under my report, I have an annual election of the vice chairman and the secretary treasurer for the RMA. So at this time, I'd entertain nominations for vice chair.
I would like to nominate Mr. Forrest Reynolds. I think he's done a great job and he's been up to speed and helped us out this last terms when he's been vice chair. So move, Mr. Chair.
I have a motion for
Second.
Forrest Reynolds. Any other nominations?
For
Not,
Vice Chair, Secretary Treasurer, I would nominate Director Reyna if he's willing to serve again in that capacity.
I can do it at the same
Do that
time.
at the same time.
I can do vice chair and then
It doesn't matter.
can I take a motion for both at the same time, Richie? I can, okay. So
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion for Zeke, second, motion and second. Okay, so I have a nomination for Forrest Reynolds as vice chair and Zeke Reyna to continue to serve as secretary treasurer. And I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. At this time, there was no other business.
Chairman, we'd like to recommend that you entertain a motion to enter into executive session for item 6A, consultation with attorney on legal issues pertaining to professional service agreements for engineering, surveying, and environmental services for the 365 Tollway project under section 551-071 of the Texas Local Government Code.
Okay, can I get a motion to go into executive session? Motion by Forrest, can I get a second? Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get a motion to adjourn back into regular session. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Motion, get a second. Motion second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Chairman, we have no further business for the board's consideration.
Okay, at this time, can I take a motion to adjourn? Motion, get a second.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.